What's up, Ronin? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're looking at PALIA, some of the questions that were answered on the Discord for the month of October. If you haven't joined the Discord server yet, again, I'm going to put the link in the description, so make sure you check that out, as I do answer a lot of questions, and there's a lot of things going on in there to give you some more information about the game, and you can take part like in the community and be prepared to be part of it. This is just saying it if in case you wanted to be it. I don't get anything from saying it or anything like that. Just want to put that out there that it's just something. If you're on Discord, check it out. So these are the questions they asked in October. I think I've scrolled back to the first questions were asked in October. These are going to be from October 6th, and then there's some later on in the month, and then they'll be starting to take questions for November. And then there's a whole list here of questions going up before October that I personally missed. There's some in September and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and start from October and look at these questions that they have for us here. So, first question here is, can you share some gameplay, please? Even 10 seconds is good, preferably showing other players too. First, they say, welcome to the city, to the person that asked the question. While we can't show you the whole enchilada right now, we'd be happy to give you a little peek into what PALIA feels like at a glance. Below is a few seconds of in-game capture from one of our playtest builds. A couple of things to keep in mind. This is all work in progress and not representative of the final game at release. Some elements might change. The facial animations haven't been implemented into our design. The HUD display controls map quest info has been removed, as that is definitely not final, but we think you'll enjoy the peaceful atmosphere seen in this video. This little 12-second video here, we can take a look at that. Let's see what's popping in this video. What's popping? Don't mind me just watching. It's kind of cool. I guess probably a Discord transcribe or something like that. We got a little vibe here, so it's pretty crisp. I kind of like the clean lines that the game has in it. Hopefully it'll make for things to be a lot easier to find and see. Makes the game feel a lot more lighthearted than most games now, going for that dark look. So far it's looking pretty good. Will there be another survey for the next round of alpha testers, or will they be picked from the ones we already did? So they're looking at everyone who has ever joined or signed up at all. Everyone who has signed up has the opportunity to get into our future test. We may need to test based on specific computer hardware, but we do bring all submissions into consideration. Number 3 is how much creativity we'll be able to pour into our housing and decoration. I hope a lot, since that's what I greatly enjoy about most games when I've done my exploration and gathering for the day. This is an area close to our hearts and critical to the identity of PALIA. Our goal is always be expanding the creative possibilities available for players to customize their housing plots. So expect a robust system at launch that continues to regularly expand with new content and systems over time. For example, we started the pre-alpha without the ability to customize wallpaper, but added it halfway through. Now it's a new system we'll be producing new content for regularly. Number 4 is, do you have an in-game mailbox? Can you send other players mail and items? Right now we have an adorable in-game mailbox, see concept pic, where you get mail from the villagers. In the future, we plan to leverage the mail system to allow players to send each other letters and gifts, but we are taking our time to make sure that those interactions feel meaningful. The mailbox will still be adorable then. And there's a little picture here of the mailbox. Mail drop box design, no mail pattern. And then the arms up, you got mail, back design, no pattern. Kind of cool. How replayable will PALIA be? Take, for example, these two games. Case Study 1, World of Warcraft. Takes me about 3 weeks at most to finish an entire new expansion. After that, it is basically just doing the same old dailies over and over again. Repeating the same content is not fun, and I quit playing soon after. Case Study 2, Slay the Spire. Each time I play the game, it feels like a new adventure. The replay value is so much more interesting and satisfying that I can go months and still feel like playing again. How is PALIA approaching the replayability design? What are you doing to make the game truly replayable so that players look forward to coming back each day? This is a great question and has been a key component we've been considering since the inception of PALIA. The intention has always been to design PALIA to be a game that can last for decades. That means regular content updates and a variety of systems built with replayability in mind. Additionally, we expect that a huge aspect of the game that will keep it fresh and exciting are the other players you're engaging with and building a community around. We've already seen exceptional creativity from the pre-alpha players, and expect the potential for other players to improve and expand your experience with PALIA to continue to grow as we approach launch and beyond. Finally, we know that not every feature in PALIA will resonate to the same degree with every PALIA player, and that's not only okay, but intentional for many major systems. However, if you're a person that enjoys community simulation games and doing activities with friends, then we're doing everything we can to build a game for you. So they're trying to make it as replayable as possible. We know how MMOs are. Eventually, there's going to be some things where it might feel a bit repetitive, but people, like some people, it's going to be repetitive, and for others, it'll be just fine. So they can't make a game specific for one person, or it's not going to really do that well. They have to try to make it so that the most people can enjoy it. 6. Can you share some of the statistics data you have surely gathered among the lucky few who get to test this game already? I'd be interested in average session length. Was it affected over time and in what direction? Same about communication towards the team, where players contact you guys. Roughly after how much playtime, IRL time, did people start to come back less often? Which I am certainly happen is the fate of any game, I'd say. Roughly how is the time spent by the average player in categories, chatting with players, etc., etc. I think this data might give us non-players an idea of where the game is at the moment. Obviously, it might also be closely guarded data, so I'm not honestly expecting that you reveal it just like that, though I thought I'd ask. Lucky for him, or that person that asked, her. We do have some fun statistics that can be shared. Check out this nifty infographic we created below. While it does include information about session lengths and how they were affected over time, we can tell you that many players stuck around and found out a value in the social and customization features of the game. They also started to develop their own in-game community events, so testers created their own organic reasons to keep coming back. It was really remarkable to see. Kind of answered some of the last question as well. In terms of communication methods, we use private Discord channels. These include specific categories of feedback as well as some voice channels where we conducted developer deep dives on different elements of the game. We learned a lot from conducting the pre-alpha playtests and are eager to apply those learnings to our next phase of testings. Please note you will need to click this image and then open it in another browser to behold its full glory. Talk about like recipes made, friendships harvested, longest shot, 130 meters. If you guys can see it, that would be pretty cool. Are there any plans for supporting a collection style of play? Maybe something like the museum in Animal Crossing where you can show off all of the different types of fish and other stuff you've collected, or a way to check someone's profile and see all the different things they've caught. To start with, you will have the ability to see what kind of resources you've personally seen and collected, fish, crops, etc. We definitely expect it to will be a challenge to collect them all in the future. We'll be exploring a variety of collection activities you can pursue as a group with your neighborhood. We absolutely want players to have the ability to appreciate your hard-earned collections and accomplishments, so expect a variety of ways to share if you're interested in doing so. Instead of romance option for NPCs, could we get a friend path? For those of us who aren't into the whole polyamory thing, or who want a deeper relationship with a character but don't want to have to marry them in order to achieve it, I'm thinking like Persona 4. The romance options there could also end in a friendship option instead, but you still got a very similar story arc. Absolutely. In fact, the main story arc for each NPC is unlocked through the friendship system. The romance is intended to be a separate arc that players can engage with completely optionally. Completing the romance portion of the story adds flavor and specificity to your relationship with the NPC, but it will not affect your ability to complete their story arc. While we do want the romance to feel meaningful and satisfying, we don't believe the close relationships need to be romantic in order to be meaningful, and neither do the citizens of PALIA. That was all for that part of that section. So if you guys got any thoughts on that, put them in the comments below. You can also hit that subscribe button and like the video. And, a little something, something. So let's go ahead. This is the second set of questions here that we're going to go into. These were from October 30th, I believe. They're having some more submissions on November. They're going to end this Friday as recording this November 5th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know everybody else's area time zones, area codes, time zones. So let's jump into this, get this next section going on. How huge and open the world is going to be. Is exploration going to be a big part of the gameplay? PALIA will definitely feature exploration and discovery as an exciting part of your experience with the game. However, we know it's impossible for us to create enough content that exploration can be a permanent part of the experience. but it is something we can continuously reinvigorate as we expand the world of PALIA over time. In terms of the size of our world at launch, it is also important to keep in mind that our core reference genre is community simulation. Games in this genre do a lot with a comparably smaller landmass than what is typical of open world games. In general, our focus is on depth, variance, and replayability in our maps over massive breadth. So, like, for a community simulation, you're gonna think like if there's like a Sims Online. I don't know if Sims have been online yet. Animal Crossing is a good way to look at that for sure. Second Life, things like that, where it's really just a small knit group of people that enjoy each other's company. It's not as crazy and large as your normal MMORPG like New World or World of Warcraft, where this like fighting and all this other stuff going on that brings people together in conflict. This is more of your chill game, and not a lot of people really mess with those, so it should be okay. Let's see. To sharing a house. Can players share a single house, for example, as roommates? And in the same vein, can players get married and move in together? Will there be the ability to share a house with my husband? I game with my husband on a regular basis, and whenever there is a house involved, we usually share the space. I would love to be able to live on my virtual farm in the house with my real husband. So, this is a style of play we really enjoy as gamers ourselves and know the community is hungry for it in Palia. As such, we're excited to talk about our plans in this area, but want to let things develop a bit further into the process before tipping our hat around how we'll be attempting to meet your expectations for this style of play. On the accessibility tip, how accessible will the game be for people who are sensitive to flash or have hearing problems? As well as for people with reading difficulties, will you use a dyslexic-friendly font? Can the game be played on adaptive controllers? As some people with disabilities have difficulty playing games. We want everyone who comes to Palia to be able to play. This involves a lot of work though, and we definitely won't be able to get it all at launch. While there are some known issues that we are committed to getting into our launch scope, there are still areas we need to educate ourselves on, and getting feedback from players on what hinders them enjoying Palia is always a great start. We expect to continually add features to support accessibility, and we expect to continually get feedback from our players on how we are doing and how we can improve in that space. Please be sure to share what's important to your gameplay needs and suggestions and feedback. We will be testing the game for visual sensitivity as well as making sure we have individual volume controls to help with audio clarity. There are other features we have planned in regards to both visual and audio difficulties, like color blindness mode, but depending on the scope, some may or may not make it in time for launch. For controls, we do plan on allowing for free key binding, which should allow for integration with other devices, but full controller support may come at a later time. I think more games should come rolled out with full controller support. Hopefully with the key bindings, I think there's programs out there that allow you to take the key bindings and assign those to a controller. So with those being free key bindings, I hope they're able to integrate with that program very easily. But I feel like more developers should focus a little bit more time spent on the full controller support. Depending on the engine they use, if it's a unique engine, then it might be a little bit more difficult to put it in. But if they're using an already pre-built engine, then being able to add in controls for controller support shouldn't be that difficult. Is there a name for the culture of the elf-like resident of Palia? I know that Einar is a golem, Zeki is a gremlin, so I'm wondering, do the elf-like people call themselves something unique? The elf-like people are called the Majiri. The name has a special significance in Palian culture, but you'll have to play to find out what it is. A few common traits you'll find among the Majiri are the values of tradition, hospitality, and community. They tend to be warm and welcoming, even toward those with customs very different from their own. Question number 5 in this section, will there be a way to see the development process live in the future? To see what exactly the dev team is currently working on while we eagerly wait, possibly a weekly Twitch live stream or art design and coding of the game. We've very much enjoyed the handful of live events we've done in the past, and we even have a few artists on our team who are well-seasoned streamers. We do have plans to kick off Discord stages and Twitch streams to discuss our development process as well as dev diaries when we hit higher population set phases. The live events probably won't get started for at least another couple of months, but we're very interested in knowing which elements of the game design people are most interested in. So please let us know what you'd want to hear about most to help us build our schedule. So server allocation, I am assuming that your machine learning system is what allocates us to friends and neighbors so we can play together. But how will we play together when we first log in? Will there be a way for us to set up a friend network before entering the game to help it get started? Or have you got another way of dealing with that situation and can tell us that we don't have to worry about not having our friends with us? Now, this is a serious question here because in a lot of games, you can just tell your friends, yo, I'm picking this class, and this is the city area they start in. I think Final Fantasy, it's based on class. So if you guys want to play like different classes that are in different cities, y'all have to wait till like you're like level in the level 20-ish range till you get the like around quest that sends you to all the city states before you can really like group up and do the story stuff together. You can do the other stuff together, but it's just a lot harder to navigate. And New World has everybody just starting on random beaches, which is unfortunate because if you do want to play with your friends, it becomes even more of a hassle because you're kind of locked to that starting zone area to do your leveling quest in instead of just being able to go to, like, for example, one of the areas is called First Light and one is called Monarch's Bluff. So if one friend started in the First Light and the other one started in Monarch's Bluff, they'll have to go up to the section where they've kind of completed that area and they have to go talk to the hermit and then they can meet up and kind of quest together. But they should just be able to say, yo, I'm here and I'm here, and then let's meet here and just quest from this point on. I'm in First Light, I'm in Monarch's Bluff. I'll run down to you in First Light and we can quest in First Light or something like that. But you can't. And that's unfortunate. So let's see what they say. You don't have to worry at all about not having your friends with you. We are still exploring ways of networking before entering the game with your character. At the moment, the easiest way is to either become friends, you can search for them even if you're not in the same area, or join a party together, after which you will have manual controls to ensure playing together. We want friends to always have the opportunity to play together and not make it a total headache to do so. This means from the start to finish it should be easy for you to find and get together with your friends, whether they are friends you logged in with or friends you decide to play with later. For transportation, what is your vision and approach towards transportation around PALIA? We saw in the 14-second clip of the character using a glider after jumping off an elevated platform. Is this a way of negating fall damage? Do you plan for easy, accessible transportation methods, example portals, so visiting different cities, villages is fast and convenient? Or do you envision a slow-paced exploration-based adventure where traveling by foot to new destinations is more mysterious and enjoyable? Or perhaps a mix of both? So to say, fundamentally, we view this as a balance between immersion and convenience, and believe that the importance of these two elements shift as you spend more and more time in space. We've been focusing on building a world worthy of exploration, so as you're discovering each part of the world for the first time, mining all the details can be rewarding and important. As you play longer, you'll start to engage with new systems that soften the navigation burden over time. At a high level, being present in the world is something that we think is important to Palia. So we're trying to strike a balance that keeps Palia feeling like a tangible, interconnected place without allowing the need for immediate gratification to ever get too sharp. There should be joy in the journey, not just the destination. Many activities in MMOs involve mini games. What can we expect from Palia in this vein? Is there a unifying design philosophy behind mini games? Will there be a single team or a single creative director in charge of minigame development so all the minigames feel like they're part of the same player experience? I really enjoyed the minigames in Maple Story 2, and that's unfortunate that the game didn't really last that long due to like content and stuff, but the minigames were fun. There are definitely a broad set of minigames available in Palia, and at first glance, there may seem like there is a large departure between each instance you encounter. But there are some unifying principles: fulfill the player fantasy. What fantasy are players attempting to live out by engaging with this minigame? Game over simulation. While we find an inspiration from real life and some elements of simulating a real thing are crucial to us achieving our first goal, we prioritize player experience over meticulous recreation of reality. Keep it in the world. Whenever possible, we avoid bringing up full screen UI elements that take you out of the world of Palia. Fun solo better together. We are supporting players playing the game solo. While because you're waiting for friends to come online or it's your preferred way to play, however, the presence or involvement of the other players should be a boon to whatever experience you're engaging in. And the boon is like a buff, a blessing. Accessible depth upped in challenge. While appropriate time and effort, all players should be able to find success when engaging with the skills of their choosing. However, for players that seek to demonstrate skill and mastery, we create optional advanced goals to achieve. When alpha? When is the alpha taking place? This was a question that a lot of people ask, says everyone. The team learned a lot from the pre-alpha, which includes finding out that we have so much more work to do. We hope to get our alpha ready by the first half of next year. It's pretty quick. We will keep you informed as things develop, and we're super excited to have more players come into PALIA. And then there is a fun time question. Favorite feel-good movie. What do you guys think? Are you still excited for PALIA after hearing those answers to the question? Did it make you more excited? Are you excited for more questions? Do you have questions? If you have questions, you can go into the Discord. And like I said, the link will be in the description. I'll try to put it in the comments also. And if you guys like this video, let me know with a like or dislike on the channel. It really helps me out. Let me know what direction I need to go in and helps the video get out there. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I will have a video coming up soon on like a month after New World's release and how I feel about that. And yeah, we also got Elion coming up too, which is already out, but I have been putting some time in. So we'll have a couple of videos planned for the channel. I hope to see you there. Until next time, peace.